ReefDVMs coming to you with an update on the barn. We're putting in the barn and tack room shop. As we left off, we had poured the concrete over the top of the PEX tubing for the heated floor. And right here, we're basically putting in some insulation and, vapor barrier and putting up the wall behind the area where the boiler and stuff is all going to attach. And really don't want this to be a sheetrock wall because we want to attach to it. The rest of the room will all be insulated spray foam with sheetrock. We'll protect the steel from getting spray foam on it by using, the Formula 150 foam behind it before it touches the steel. But it's a basic construction. I'm just kind of showing it in fast speed because there's hundreds and hundreds of hours of video. This is when we were plumbing up the floor system. It really went in pretty good. Just a lot of copper. What more can I say? We built it with trusses over the top so that we can basically have a load-bearing storage area above it. We built it all with 2x6s, made it to code. It really worked out nice. Put a plywood exterior on it, to which we'll probably even do a little bit more work with that. Sorry about the flipped camera angle there. But there is the on-demand water heater, and that was also the boiler. So that really worked out great the way we put that in. That just really was slick, and we've already tested it out, and it's working great. Then while this is all occurring, I'll show you some quick shots. We're out making the pad a little bit bigger, because there is an addition to this barn that we'd like to do. So they're doing a little bit of groundwork outside, and it's coming along really well. As you can see, we're just extending the area off to the south side of the barn. Then back into the shop while we're doing that. We got it to this point. We're studded out. We've got all the walls up. We've got the door in. Again, to protect the steel, we put up some formula, and we're still doing a little of that there around the door that needs to be done. We've got electrical and lights in. Granted, those will have to come down for the sheetrock, but it's all in pretty nice shape. The ceiling actually is a plywood ceiling, and then we insulated it with foam, and then we're also going to spray it. So the top has got foam laid across the top of it too. And then, of course, over the top of that, we put plywood again. So it really worked out nice. I think by the time we get the spray foam in at about 8 to 10 inches, we should have a nice R value. We ducked out the heating and the on-demand water heat, and we're pretty much ready to work towards the last wall inside that divides the room between the shop and the tack room. So we finished some electrical stuff, got it inspected out, and then kind of finished up the interior framing right before the crews came in. We did have a professional company come and spray the foam in because it was easier. I had some friends come and do the sheetrock, put that up, which was also very nice. And then, of course, taping and seaming is such a disaster, but got a guy down the road that does it for a living, so he helped us out. The gas system we did pretty much ourselves. Wasn't too tough. Went and got ourselves a ditch witch, trenched it over to a propane tank that we rented from Lakes Gas, and basically put in a copper line and hooked it up. Here in this shot, we're basically laying the last wall. This is the wall that divides the tack room and utility room from the rest of the shop, so we hopefully don't get the tack and stuff all dirty. So could have put this wall up sooner, but it was kind of a last minute thought, so just kind of the way it ended up. The wall went in really nice. Instead of making it as one piece and tipping it up, I built it piece by piece just to make sure I got everything straight. Overall, it was kind of a fun evening project. My daughters and my wife and I, we all worked on it together, so it was quite an enjoyable experience. The whole size on this is 20 by 30. And the tack room portion of it is 12 by 20. And then, of course, the shop portion is like about, I don't know what that ends up becoming. But it's nice. We cleaned it all up. We've got a plan to put the lathe in there in the fridge. And we got the insulation guys in, and they sprayed it, as you can see. And then the ceiling went in, piece of cake. There was no problems with the ceiling. It went up really nicely. Screwed it all in, and, what more can I say? In our state, you don't need a vapor barrier with spray foam, which is kind of nice. So there was one less headache, one less thing we had to do. As you can see in the process of sheetrocking, definitely got the floor dirty. That turned out to be a project to clean. I think next time I would have put thin poly down. Might have made it a little bit easier on the floor cleanup. Because when we got done, we painted the walls white, which is what we wanted. And then after we had all the walls painted, we hung the lights back up. We did have poly down for the painting process, thankfully, but there was still a lot of sheetrock dust underneath it. And when we got done painting the walls, we decided then we would do the floor too. So the whole floor had to be scrubbed and cleaned, and then of course, we had to use the muric acid on it because we wanted to put down a really tough paint. So it was a lot of darn work, a lot of mopping, a lot of hands-on, but it turned out to be nice. It cleaned up really well. Once we got it cleaned up, well, we brought back in the painters to put down a garage floor, one of those epoxy-based ones. It's kind of nice. They paint it and drop the chips on it in kind of one day, and they let that all set up and dry, and of course they do it in whatever colored chips you want, which is cool. And then they come back after it's dry, and we had them put on a clear sealant over the top, just to give it some added protection, especially with, things like the dolly on it, and the chairs, and the stool, and I want a workbench on it, and who knows what's going to drop and fall on it. I plan on showing you guys the workbench that I'm going to build and put in here too, so I'll probably have that video done hopefully in a few days. But it turned out really nice. Everything looked really good. It was one of those projects that took a little longer than we thought, but it certainly went well. We got done with the floor, everything dried and cured. We then turned around and, like I said, put the sealant on it. It just looked beautiful. You almost hate to get it dirty, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Then we turned around and put up some shelves, and the shelving was, excellent. I did the heavy-duty shelving from Menards by drop hangers, which is nice. It's completely adjustable, makes it very easy to work with. And then we're pretty much ready to start loading this shop up. I certainly appreciate you watching. This is the barn room shop and tack room. I'm going to put out a video here in the next day or two. I'll show you putting the workbench in it. I'm hoping to put a 4x6 great big workbench in the center of this beast, and I appreciate you guys watching. Please like or subscribe and follow this build, and you'll in probably 3 or 4 months see the addition get put onto this barn too. Thank you for watching.